Kirill posts this song with lyrics going, "At dawn, voices are calling me, heavens are calling me. D to L, WWG1, WGA. Someone replies, "Are we close?" And he answers, "Yes." Hi, truth seekers. There's this Russian account known as Kirill Dmitriev, which has gone viral over the past several days after he reposted a Donald Trump meme relating to that forbidden letter and that phrase suggesting inevitability of great change. I decided to look through his account just to get a sense of who this individual really is. His profile lists him as CEO of Russian Direct Investment Fund, Special Envoy of the President of Russia for Investment and Economic Cooperation. He has a page on Wikipedia regarding his early life education. He was born in 1975 in Kiev, Ukrainian SSR, Soviet Union. In '89, he came to a host family in New Hampshire as a Soviet exchange student. The same year, he was sent to live with friends of his parents in California, attended Foothill College, located here. Despite no prior high school education, he was very successful there, achieving an associate's degree. He then transferred to Stanford. He then achieved a BA in economics with honors. He then continued his education at Harvard Business School, where he completed an MBA as a Baker Scholar. For a time, he worked as an investment banker at Goldman Sachs in New York. Then he returned to Russia and joined a private equity fund while also working for the U.S.-Russia Investment Fund. Like many groomed to be globalists, in 2010, he was elected as a World Economic Forum Young Global Leader. In 2011, he was appointed as CEO of a newly created Russian Direct Investment Fund, a sovereign wealth fund to make equity co-investments in Russian companies. Under his leadership, the RDIF invested with foreign partners in more than 90 projects totaling more than 2.1 trillion rubles, covering 95% of regions of the Russian Federation. He's won several awards, including the Presidential Certificate of Honor. He was reported to have met with Eric Prince in Seychelles and sought to establish contact with Donald Trump's inner circle, including Trump Jr. and Jared Kushner. So given his recent posting, many are beginning to wonder. We know Dan Scavino could be considered a part of the Trump inner circle, and he signals in special ways to the audience many times. He was even recently put in charge of hiring at the White House. So looking at some of Kirill's recent posts, he highlighted the meeting of leaders of Russia, China, and India at the SCO summit. He made this post: "The U.S. is developing some awareness of the systematic brainwashing through the fake narrative machine." He shares a graphic understanding the engine of the left, and it shows the mainstream media apparatus and their associations with various companies and funding organizations, notably Gates Foundation and the recently audited USAID. He shares this headline: "Gates Foundation quietly cuts ties with firm linked to Democrats." As you're aware, many are pissed off about Bill Gates being given a seat of honor at a recent dinner at the White House. I previously speculated that Bill might be on a type of redemption arc, so to speak. So continuing, Kirill posted this Studio Ghibli artwork with symbolic replacements for the various leaders of the country India, Russia, and China. Much later, he added the United States to the image with imagined peace among these nations. To further characterize the new alliance, he states, "At China's military parade, 80,000 peace doves took flight to mark 80 years since joint victory of the Soviet Union, China, and US, and other Western allies over Nazism." He notes in a post that Russia and China's economic relationship is improving, whereas Russia's relationship with the EU is worsening, noting EU leadership bad decisions left EU with high energy prices, high inflation, and high immigration. Bad decisions have consequences. EU leadership changes quickly, but their bad decisions will continue to have disastrous consequences for decades, if not centuries. He draws attention to Ursula's complicated relationship with Pfizer. He draws attention to the fact that President Putin and China's President Xi discuss life extension technologies. He points out CNN headline describing that Trump and Putin are ready for peace, but Ukraine and Europe are stalling in this effort. He uses whistles like "follow the rabbit." He directly drew attention to 17+ with Russia handshake United States on September 1st. General Flynn quote tweets him, and then he thanks General Flynn. Kirill quote tweeted a known Patriot account called Shadow of Ezra, and then replied to that, "Europe is waking up," quoting Eva, who states it's time to claim our countries back. I'm a part of Generation Remigration. Trump singles out the country of Europe as a whole, saying that it hit a great American country, Google, with a $3.5 billion fine, taking money that would otherwise go to American investments and jobs. He posted this: "Looks like we've lost India and Russia to deepest, darkest China. May they have a long and prosperous future together." President Donald J. Trump. He shares an image of these three walking together. And in a reply to the MJ Ultra post, Kirill states, "Same people attack us and do not want the restored power of the U.S.-Russia relationship. It's the deep state globalist fake media." And so that's perfectly in line with this post prediction of Xi and Putin working to stop the deep state rooted globally. This post is from April 8th, 2018. NoopQ draws attention to Kirill, and he replies in acknowledgement with the 17. He has a Telegram channel. He puts both these phrases in, which I can't say on YouTube. Remember what I told you before about anonymous sources describing the nature of time itself. Someone asks, what kind of a timeline is this? And then he replies, the best one. Oh boy. He replies to every major 17 coded account. Putin's special envoy of Russia for investment in economic cooperation, making these posts is very significant in my view. And maybe while the battle lines are drawn a little bit differently, maybe the nature of the conflict is not much different than 80 years ago. The emotional, spiritual dimension of the conflict is just more visible now. The corrupt EU co-opted country Ukraine still has their Axis power symbolism. It's not too difficult to understand what's going on. Thanks for watching.
It was a short time ago on Air Force One, President Trump saying he believes Russian leader Vladimir Putin wants to reach a deal to stop the war in Ukraine. He also said he believes the Ukrainian president is there too, wants a deal soon. The administration is making another push to end the conflict right now. The president's special envoy is talking with Russian negotiator Kirill Dmitriev, who joins us now live on set. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Brad.
How do you characterize the talks right now and how they're going?
I think President Trump administration has made tremendous progress. There was no dialogue with Russia in Biden administration for the last 3 years. There was no trying to understand Russian position. There was no really solutions that could have been successful. And what President Trump team has done, they understood what the solution space may be, and they achieved the first de-escalation ever in the conflict, which is stopping hits on energy infrastructure between Russia and Ukraine. So we are having good discussions. Our diplomatic people are also discussing possible outcomes, but there is no question that President Trump team not only stopped World War III from happening, but also had already achieved sizable progress on Ukraine resolution.
After that resolution, though, of the energy infrastructure, there were attacks by the Russians on the Ukrainians' energy infrastructure.
But so there were, unfortunately, attacks by Ukrainian on lots of Russian infrastructure, which are not too much reported in the press, and that, of course, has to stop. And I think energy infrastructure ceasefire has to hold.